Hi, I'm Brian Marsh, your potential coach. Afraid of letting others down? Let's talk about it. When you think about letting other people down, one of the reasons you let them down is because you have failed to set clear boundaries relative to what you can and cannot do. Alternatively, perhaps they may have been unclear about what it is they really need and want from you. But in any event, as the receiver of the information and the one who fears letting others down, you have to be very, very conscious about setting clear boundaries. Let me give you an example of a boundary that was set with me. My son was out of town and asked me to start his car while he was out of town. I reflexively said, yes, I'll start the car while you're gone. When he came back, the battery was dead. The battery was dead because I was inconsistent in starting the car when he was gone. Now, that is an example of a clear boundary I did not set. Had I set a clear boundary, that conversation may have sounded something like this. Well, yeah, do you know how much time I'm going to need to start the car? Do you have an idea of how many times you want the car started while you're gone? He would have given me his answer, and then I would have been able to say, yes, I have the time to do that, or no, I don't have the time to do it. That's a clear boundary. So whenever you are afraid of letting someone down, understand that one of the reasons that you're afraid of letting them down is because you did not set a clear boundary and then stayed with that boundary. Understanding boundaries involves you understanding the time commitment involved and being honest about whether or not you can commit the amount of time that's required in order to meet that commitment. So we've talked about boundaries, we've talked about commitment, and particularly overcommitting. Let's also add setting proper expectations to the conversation. So in my story with my son, had I set expectations appropriately, the conversation would have gone a lot differently and a lot better. The outcome would have been a lot better. So specifically, when he asked me if I would start the car, in setting the expectations, I would have asked a question like, okay, so how many times while you're gone do you expect me to start the car? How many days a week should I start the car? He would have given me his answer, and I would have then known if I would have been able to meet that expectation. And then when he returned, the outcome would not have been a surprise to him. So the importance of setting expectations is really on both sides of the conversation. You should set expectations for your own benefit, and you should expect the other person to set expectations so that there's full levels of clarity in what is expected out of both parties. When you set proper expectations, you set yourself up for a win as opposed to a disappointment, which is what you obviously want to avoid. So we've talked about commitment, we've talked about setting expectations. Now let's talk about the third step, which is normalizing no. Now for many people, saying no is a problem because saying no means that you are putting someone off. But the reality is, in order to remain authentic and in order to remain congruent with who you are, oftentimes you have to say no. So make no a normal. Don't think that you are being mean when you say no. You're bringing clarity to the situation when you say no, because the other person now knows that you are unable to fulfill whatever they're asking of you. And your no should be a clear no, not a, I don't know, or maybe, or sure, I'll try. No. Make your no, no. Make your yes, yes. Make it normal for you to be honest with your spouse, significant other, or whomever is on the other side of the conversation. Make it clear that you cannot abide by what they are asking. Make it clear that you can't meet their expectations. It's okay. It's really okay. Saying no does not mean that you are being a mean person or even a negative person. Saying no simply means that you are being your authentic self. You are being honest, you are being truthful, you are letting the other person know that you are unable to meet their expectations. You're being honest with them. Honesty is always the best policy.
This is Brian Marsh, your potential coach. For more information, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. See you next time.